Hey there, Capricorn, and welcome to your mid-September general reading for September 2021. Thank you for being here. We're going to do something a little special, different, I guess. We're going to do a 3-card spread for you. I'm calling Step Back, Step Forward. This is just going to be a reading where, unlike my other readings where I do past, present, future, and an outcome, we won't be doing any clarifiers or anything like that. We'll just be really going in depth on these cards. The first card will represent taking a step back from the situation you're currently in. And step backs aren't necessarily bad things. They can be very much, it can be a bad thing, potentially, but the card will reveal whether it is or not. Staying put, you want to maintain a situation you're in. This is talk about kind of the behaviors, things you can do to kind of maintain this. And stepping forward is like just moving on, what, kind of actions and things you can take to kind of move on from a situation as well. So I'm liking that. Thank you for being here, Capricorn. Let's see what we got here for you. Before we do, though, thank you so much for being here. At any point in the video, you can always drop a like. I appreciate that so much. If you really like the channel, you really like me, you can subscribe as well if you haven't already to the channel. You can also share the video too if you feel like it. And of course, regardless of that, you can check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos too. We got a pop out to start things off here for you. But thank you so much for being here, Capricorn. And let's see what we got for you, all right? So, I've also got the Ace of Wands here, and we've got the Ten of Wands. All right. So, we're going to start things off in the past. I got to get that out of my head. I'm sorry. I've been doing that with everybody, I think. Taking a step back, we have the Hanged Man. And so this is just gaining a new perspective on things, kind of taking a different look at something. Like I say, taking a step back isn't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes we need to come at stuff on a different angle. And the Hangman very much represents that when I say that. Is like sometimes you do need to kind of look at something in a different perspective to kind of understand what things are here, right? Currently, if you were to look at this, if you're looking at this, you're like, the Hangman's seeing this Ace of Wands is like, what is this? Like, you're like, why is he hanging up like that? But to him, it looks more like this. It's sort of like, that isn't the opportunity. This isn't the thing that I really wanted, right? He's not seeing it in straight up and down like you and me are. He's seeing it as a reversal instead. So potentially you need to take a step back and kind of look and maybe see the negatives of this situation, right? Just gain that other perspective. Maybe you don't need to see the negatives. You just need to see something else with this. And that's really going to help you out because the Hangman is gaining enlightenment, as you can see by that halo around him. It can also just be saying you need to take a step back and sort of like just chill, right? The Hangman stagnates. He is just hanging there. He's not making any motion. He's not going forward in any way whatsoever. He's just content to hang there. And maybe that's what you need to do is kind of take a step back and be like, all right, let's just go back to where we were before and just stay there for now and hope maybe not hope, but wait to see what happens, right? Maybe this Ace of Wands isn't going to be an Ace of Wands for long. Maybe it's going to turn into something worse. Maybe it's going to turn into that Ten of Wands we're seeing a little further down the road here. So this is potentially a situation where a step back might be what you want, Capricorn, rather than maintaining or stepping forward. But we will see as we go about the reading. In your maintain position, we got the Ace of Wands, and it's like just keep feeding that spark of creativity that you got, right? Whatever it is, like for you, whatever the situation is, just keep kind of coming and being creative about it and being unique and being bold and passionate, right? Whatever that is, it's different for everybody, as this is a general tarot reading. Could be love for you, could be a business for you, could be a relationship with a friend or a family member, anything like that. It's just kind of bring that spark of creativity and that kind of enthusiasm and excitement that the Ace of Wands wants you to have. And if you do, it's going to maintain and it's going to be going good and it's going to be going strong. It's just a matter of, are you going to bring that? Or are you going to take a step back? Or are you going to take a step forward, right? Are you going to force an issue here? Or are you going to maintain things? Are you going to take a step back because maybe this isn't everything you thought it was going to be and you want to see how this evolves if that spark isn't there, right? Because sometimes with us, you get somebody who matches your energy, right? Like if you find someone who really Like, they might just match your energy because that's just what they do with everybody. They just kind of match their energy. And then you find once you kind of let them to their own devices, they turn out not to be that same person. They're just kind of going with what you're doing. And it's not maybe necessarily what you want, right? I used to know a person who was kind of like that. Very much like I'll do whatever you're doing, right? But they never wanted to kind of come up with their own things because I don't want to say they're bland or anything like that, but they just very much kind of like their own ideas of fun weren't like what my idea of fun was. And they didn't even enjoy what their idea of fun was to begin with. You know what I mean? Have you ever encountered someone like that who's just like, this is their idea of fun, but it doesn't even seem like they're enjoying it. You know what I mean? So they're hoping other people come up with stuff, right? Best thing I can think of is someone who's constantly, what are we up to this weekend, guys? Like, that kind of a person. And it's just like, well, we're all busy and stuff. And they're like, oh, you guys are a bunch of like spoil sports. And then they just kind of sit home alone and they don't want to be left alone with their thoughts, right? And they're just like, I don't like this, because they want to, like, you know, maybe that's who this person is that you're dealing with. It's like they're very much like, as long as you're up to keep going and hanging out, they're like, the party's here. But as soon as you kind of turn it around, it's like, they're like, oh, well, you're, you know, maybe they turn on you too. And you're kind of like, oh, I'm not being as exciting because they want distractions from their own life, right? Could be something like that you're dealing with here. That could be one possible scenario. But again, it might just be a situation where you just need to keep bringing that creative spark too. And that'll just keep things going, right? That'll just keep the love alive, whatever that might be. So taking a step forward, sorry, excuse me for that little hiccup there. We've got the 10 of Wands. 10s are endings to things. So it is the end of something. You take a step forward into an ending. You kind of like, all right, this is it. We're going to call it quits here. So like I say, that could be that person you're dealing with where they're very much like, okay, I'm only matching your energy. And like, as soon as, you know, it could be like an energy vampire type person, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. It's like a person who's just like, I'm just here for me and then I'm leaving, right? And this might be a situation where you're like, I'm cutting this person out because I can't deal with them anymore because they're constantly like this and I can't handle it. So possibly that's one potential thing, is like you're just cutting this person out. And with 10s are endings, but with every ending is a new beginning. So it's like you can look at your life as like a before this person and after this person. And after this person, if they're like that, is probably a very, very good thing, right? The 10 of Wands represents a big weight on your shoulders. As you can see, this big bundle of wands, but it can also represent like kind of the weight of the world. Like you're just having all these stresses and anxieties and things, right? And nothing is working out in your favor. It's all being harder than it has to be. And it's like, enough is enough. And that might be that person, right? This might be this person kind of like forces themselves on you, and not necessarily, I'm not saying in like a sexual way or something like that, but that could be it too, potentially. But it's someone who really forces their will on you more so, right? Where they're just like, okay, we're going to do what I want to do, or you're going to entertain me for tonight because I'm bored, right? And it's just like, no, I got other stuff I'm going to do. I got to be doing. And then they just kind of guilt trip you into it. It's like, what? Oh, you always do this to me. You always ignore me and stuff. You're always like this. And that might be what's putting that weight on you, because you feel like you are always kind of putting them back on the back burner. Whereas like, they're not your focus all the time. But that's perfectly reasonable, right? Like if this person is like just a friend or something, or an acquaintance, and you know, you have other stuff to do, other stuff that's important to you, because you are carrying an awful weight here, Capricorn. It might be just a situation where you got to tell them like, hey, like I got stuff I really got to focus on, and like we can hang out later or something. If they don't understand that, yeah, cut them out, get them out of there, right? If they're making you stressed out and feel like, you know, they're putting that unneeded burden on you, then they don't deserve to be in your life. This is a person that only cares about themselves, obviously, if that's the case. So that's what I'm seeing here. Just as a quick summary, maybe take a step back, see what this person's really like, or this situation is really like, and without that kind of spark of creativity we have here with the Ace of Wands, see what they do. You know, maybe they turn into that bad person. They let their true colors show. Or you can keep feeding the creativity and stuff. If you like it, this is what you're all about, that's fine. You know, maybe that person isn't like that, and it's just kind of all in your imagination. But you can just keep feeding that spark of creativity to the situation, this person, whatever it may be. Or you can take a step forward and just kind of end things because you realize this is what this person is, and you don't need to take that step back to kind of see their true colors. you kind of finally realize that this is how they are. So that's what I got for you for this mid-September reading here, Capricorn. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. Hopefully this has resonated with you, giving you a new perspective or a different outlook that you maybe never thought of before. Thank you again for being here, Capricorn. If you want to help out the channel, though, you can leave a like down below. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can share this video and check out your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus sign videos too after this one. Thank you again so much for being here, Capricorn, and I hope to see you in the next video.